I'm really delighted now that we can welcome two OU graduates who have both studied their degrees while they were in prison. I'm going to let you I'm going to let them tell you how they've done that, but I did just want to quickly point out we've heard an amazing stories about use of technology and introduction of Chromebooks on the Learning Together course. Most of our students, and currently we have over 1,500 students studying for their degree in prison, most of them are doing that on paper because they're not allowed to be using computers, or it's very difficult for them to get to the computers in the prison. So please just bear in mind when you hear these stories, imagine if you were having to organise 500 bits of paper in a relatively confined cell and you're still coming out with a distinction, in fact even a first. CJ, I'd like to welcome CJ Burge, who has completed her law degree, and I'll let her tell you all about how she's done
that. So she stole my punchline. Hello everyone, and thank you for having me here today. My name is CJ Burge. I am currently the SOS Plus project manager at St. Giles Trust, which is a wonderful charity that breaks the cycle of offending by employing people with real lived experience of the criminal justice system in order to help others. The SOS Plus project that I manage is also, it's so dear to me because, again, we're doing the same thing. We're taking people from prison on Rottle when they're in the community and training them to deliver preventative sessions to young people around knife crime, violence, gangs. And, last year we delivered 20 to 24,000 young people across the country. So just amazing. And for me, the best thing is seeing that transformation. Everything we've heard today is about transformation, and it's just really inspiring. So I am one of those people with lived experience of the criminal justice system. In 2011, 9 years ago now, I was arrested for importation in Japan. I was 6 months pregnant at the time, extremely naive to what I was getting myself involved in. Therein started a really quite horrific experience. I was sentenced to 9.5 years in prison. I had a baby in prison. I did 3 years in a really brutal regime, and I was repatriated, thankfully, back to the UK to finish my sentence. I was really fortunate that when I came back to the UK, that we believe in rehabilitation. When I came back, I could hardly speak because we were not allowed to talk to one another. So I had a really active mental life, but I couldn't get stuff out in words. It took me months in order to be able to speak. I never ever thought I'd be doing things like this post-release. But what was truly amazing for me was being able to study and learn. And I started the level 3 in information, advice and guidance with St. Giles Trust. And then I started a degree with the Open University doing law. Degrees are hard enough as it is for anybody, let alone having to do it in prison with huge barriers that prisoners have to overcome. I was really fortunate that I had a pretty good education before I got to prison, and even I found it really tough. You have to have that emotional resilience, that strength to be able to go back, back to your cell and sit down for hours on end. And often regimes which are not as supportive as the ones that were being talked about earlier, don't allow you to do that sort of studying in the daytime. You're supposed to go out and work in the gardens or work in the kitchens, and so you're left to do it in the evenings or on the weekends. But I didn't mind at all, and I know loads of people who do degrees in prison are really driven people, and they want to, have a better life, and they do that. They do commit to it, and you might, fall off the hump occasionally, but you get back on. And a lot of that is testament to the Open University, their course materials and the support that we still got from the tutors. Imagine a world where there was no internet access, where the libraries don't stock the law books that you need, where you can't access computers. And I literally wrote every single assignment. And I just thought when I started, I was like, they used to do this, so surely I can do this now. It's not such a hardship. But actually, it was great because it really got me to think about every word I put down, because I couldn't, once I ended up writing it all out, rewriting it, and then putting it down for the final draft, I would spend hours just to make sure I didn't get a mistake on the paper. And that was just such a sense of achievement. And I think that's what's so wonderful about studying inside prison, is that no matter what happens in your experience there, and I know some of the prisons, the male prisons are horrendous, you walk out with your assignment marks, you walk out with your grades, you walk out with the confidence that you've been able to do this, and you walk out hopefully with a degree at the end. For me, all of the struggles were completely outweighed by these internal factors, the fact that I was making my family proud, the fact that I was doing something good, that I was leaving a legacy for my daughter that was out there with my family at the time. Not only did it transform my prison experience because it gave me something to focus on, something to keep on the straight and narrow, something to inspire others with, but it also helped me when I was eligible and released on temporary license in order to get the job that I do now. I used the skills that I learned by doing the degree, but also in order to work in a law centre, because obviously the law degree was directly applicable. Last year in January I was released, and I continued to study upon release. To be honest, sometimes that felt a lot harder than doing it in prison, because I then had to be a mother, reintegrate, resettle, and do a job. But again, with the support of amazing tutors, people who fundamentally believed in what I was doing and the fact that I could transform and be different, it allowed me to finish this year in June, get a first, which again is still unbelievable for me. But thank you. And also go on to do other amazing things. So an opportunity to do a placement in the cabinet office, and now here I am speaking to you and hoping that, you know, what I've done can inspire other people to do the same thing, because really 5 minutes is not enough time to tell you about everything that I've done, everything I've learned and seen. But the one thing that I hold core, and it's written there, is that education is transformative. No matter who you are, you know, what age you are, where you're studying it, what is your life circumstances, you know, it can transform who you are and how you think of yourself. And I think, you know, the OU's done an amazing job in embodying that motto of learning and living. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.